reaction on Capitol Hill to the dueling abortion rulings broke as expected along party lines. Republicans hailed the decision, withdrawing the FDA's approval of the abortion drug mifepristone, while Democrats are less than happy that the drug will no longer be dispensed in a number of states, at least temporarily. Capitol Hill correspondent Erik Rosales continues our team coverage now. Erik?
Good evening, Tracy. Yes, both Republicans and Democrats, they engaged in a war of words when the ruling came down. But Democratic Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she took it one step further. She says she supports calls to ignore the ruling until the judicial process plays out.
This ruling is an extreme abuse of power. It is an extraordinary example of judicial overreach. The grounds of the ruling are just completely discredited and without grounds.
But Congressional Pro-Life Caucus Co-Chair Congressman Chris Smith hailed the ruling, saying in a statement, quote, "The FDA has blatantly ignored warnings of life-threatening complications associated with mifepristone and misoprostol, the drug regime used in chemical abortions." HHS Secretary Xavier Becerra claims it presents a danger for all FDA-approved drugs.
When you turn upside down the entire FDA approval process, you're not talking about just mifepristone. You're talking about every kind of drug. You're talking about our vaccines. You're talking about insulin. You're talking about the new Alzheimer's drugs that may come on.
House Republicans say they are prepared to stop funding some FDA programs.
The House Republicans have the power of the purse. And if the administration wants to not lead this ruling, not live up to this ruling, then we're going to have a problem. And it may become a point where House Republicans on the appropriation side have to defund FDA programs that don't make sense.
Susan B. Anthony, Pro-Life America, calls the injunction a win for women and girls. State Policy Director Katie Glenn Daniel claims the drug maker never studied its effects on minors because it wanted to fast-track its passage before the end of the Clinton administration.
Judge Kaczmarek saw what we have known for over 20 years, which is that when the FDA originally approved these drugs, it was deeply political. They were not following the science. They were ignoring the science, and they were breaking their own rules.
It is important to note that both the Department of Justice and the drug maker have appealed the ruling. Now the case is likely to make its way all the way up to the U.S. Supreme Court. It's important to note that Susan B. Anthony, Pro-Life America, did release a poll showing that over 60% of Americans doubt the drug's safety, despite it being on the market for over 2 decades. I'll stay on top of the issue. At the Capitol, Erik Rosales, EWTN News Nightly.